Hey guys, so here is a alternative method to traditional calorie tracking on say an app like MyFitnessPal or My Calories Plus or My Macros Plus, Fat Secret, anything like that, or just writing down everything that you eat. So basically, this method is from Precision Nutrition, which I have my certification with, but I just kind of made a little bit of a different video so we can describe it that way. So basically, going into it, I want to go through 4 topics: what it is, how it works, who it works for, why you should use this method versus other methods, and then the pros and cons of it. So here's another slide. Basically, it's describing each way of tracking. So 1 palm size protein, that would be 1 serving. 1 serving of vegetables would be 1 fist. A serving of, let me try to move that. A serving of carbs would be a cupped hand size, and then a serving of fats would be 1 thumb. Okay, so basically that's all there is to it as far as the measurements. The figuring out the actual amounts that you need per day would be a little bit more advanced and something that I could potentially help you out with if you wanted to go over that. But yeah, so what it is and how it works. It's a way to measure portions and loosely track food intake with no tools besides your hands, okay? It's consistent and you always have your hands, which is really good. You will probably never have a food scale on you, right? So, like if you're out at a restaurant or something like that, most likely you're not going to have a food scale. And your hands are always with you and always about the same size. Hopefully. Um, it's a method of tracking that's not 100% accurate, or 100% on point, but it's always the same. So you can just change the amounts as needed so it's consistently inconsistent. Okay? And next up, it's a great method for you if, so this is who it's for, you are new to tracking, so you just kind of want a low barrier of entry into getting an idea of how many calories you're eating, have general fitness goals. So what I mean by this is you're not somebody that's competing in, say, a physique competition. You don't get paid for your sport, things like that. You just want to lose some weight, gain some muscle, be more healthy, things like that. This would be great for you. And then for somebody who wants the most for the least, so you can get a lot of benefits and see a lot of progress from this, but not have to, invest into a food scale and measure all your stuff out every day, things like that. Okay, it's good for busy people because again, you don't have to take every piece of food and put it out onto a food scale, measure it out, weigh it out, all that stuff. It's very time consuming and monotonous. So basically, yeah, it's just a lot easier. Or if you're a off-season competitive athlete. So if you are a competitive athlete or you do get paid for your sport to model anything like that, but you're not currently like competing for competition. So you're off season, you want to give yourself a little bit of a mental break, a little bit of mental, just a little mental rest, a little rest of the monotonous of having to weigh out your food or whatever it is, tracking method that you have used in the past. Okay, and then here's why somebody would use it. It's super easy. So literally, you're just eyeballing things. You're looking at your fist, and then you are looking at the piece of food that you're eating. Okay, it takes little to no extra time at all out of your day. It doesn't take long to look at something like, uh, you know, a potato and equate it to your hand. Okay, it's always available to use. You always have your hands, like I said. It's consistently inconsistent, so it doesn't really matter if you are off too much. Again, this is not for somebody that's a little ad. Again, this is not for somebody that is a competitive athlete or looking to, get paid for their sport. This is somebody who wants general fitness, get healthier, lose weight, gain muscle. Okay? And then it's a really good skill to have, and it's way less likely to create poor eating habits or eating disorders than if you were to, say, weigh out every piece of food, every gram and ounce, and just everything that you put in your body that can create poor eating habits and eating disorders a little bit. This is just you're eating whole foods, and you are loosely tracking so that you have an idea of how much you are actually intaking. But the main reason that we want to do this, again, consistently inconsistent, okay? You can inconsistently, okay, change. So if you are estimating that you are having 10 portions of carbohydrates, it doesn't matter if you're actually getting 11 to 13, portions, if you will, or servings of carbohydrates, because if you drop that down to 8, then you're going to be getting 7 to 9. So it's still less. You still have a way to change or modulate how much you're eating, even though it's not 100% accurate. Okay? Last point here, the pros and the cons. So as you can see, the pros weigh out the cons, in my opinion. So I think it's a really good option, really viable option for the people, like I said, who it's for. Okay. So it's good to keep you on track because it's like you have something there that's keeping you on track every time you eat. It's very easy to be like, okay, shoot, that's going to be over my serving sizes for the day, so therefore I can't have that. It just creates a little bit more accountability, and little habits build on each other. So the little habits of taking a peek at your hand and the food that you're eating can go a long ways. It's very easy to use. Okay, it's very, very fast. It's a healthy habit to have versus weighing everything out, which is not the healthiest habit to have, in my opinion. And you always have your hands and eyes, so you always have it available to you. And then the cons. It's not as accurate as weighing and tracking. Kind of went over that it doesn't have to be necessarily, as long as you're not training for a physique competition or you're getting paid for your sport, like I said, or anything like that. It's really easy to forget or brush off. Okay, so if you are, actually weighing yourself out, it's a little bit more. I don't know. I think you need the same amount of willpower, but just if you're eating and you know that the portion size that you're eating is more than your hand size or what you have for the day, it's really easy to kind of brush off that fact and just go ahead and overeat. So that's a con. It can be hard when eating mixed meals. So an example would be any like stir fried, meat, vegetables, especially if you're doing like meat, vegetables, and pasta or something like that, because it can be tricky when it's all like mixed into a certain dish. Or if you eat, let's say you have a sandwich, and the meat's kind of mixed in with different vegetables, it can be harder than, maybe looking it up on the MyFitnessPal or something like that. So a potential con, but also it is a good idea to have more whole food options. It's easier to kind of get an idea of how much you're eating, and you avoid adding a ton of sauces and extras that you don't know about anyways. So, and then it takes practice to perfect and a bit of knowledge. So like we didn't go over 100% what each would represent. So going back here, typically a palm size portion of protein, for example, represents about 4 ounces of actual protein. So you don't need to know that. You just need to know how many you need for each, you know, day. So the reason I didn't go over what each represents is I don't want to say, okay, so the average person needs, 8 pounds of protein, 7 pounds of vegetable. Well, we could generalize and say, 4 to 8 servings of vegetables, but with the carbohydrates and fats, I don't want to generalize because everybody's so different. So that's another pro of this is it's specific to you. It's not like the keto diet or anything like that. It's specific to your needs, your wants. So yeah, just reach out if you want more information and figure out how many calories, each hand portion you should be eating in the day. But yeah, besides that, it's a really viable option for you if you're getting into fitness and you want to start tracking some things and get an idea of how much you're eating. But yeah, as I said, reach out if you have any questions. But yeah, besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and let us know what else you'd like to see. And signing off.